I was, when I got out of service in World War II, I did my undergraduate work, a bachelor's in zoology over in the Berkeley campus. And then I went for my master's degree in physiology with the idea I was going to go on and get my PhD. But then I spoke to my professor, who was a PhD MD in physiology, and told him that I wanted to do human research. And he said, well, you should probably go to professional school, because if you're going to stay in physiology, you're going to do research on animals. And it so happened that he was also teaching internal medicine in the dental school. And so he said, why don't you go into dentistry? They need a lot of new researchers there, and you should do very well there. And that's when I applied to the dental school and received admission. In my second year of dental school, I knew then that there were great possibilities on the things that I like to do in dentistry. So I asked for an appointment with Dean Fleming then, and he saw me, and we talked, and I told him of my aspirations, and he said, wonderful. And he said, you should continue whatever work you can do in addition to your dental school work and research, and then apply for a faculty position upon graduation. So what I did when I was in dental school, there was a Dr. Herman Becks, who was a professor of then, they called it dental medicine. And I told him that I would like to eventually join the faculty and do some research with him while I was an undergraduate. And so he said yes, so I started doing some work on fluoridation and with some animals who were on diet deficiencies to see what the oral manifestations might be. And then I went through the dental school, and Dr. Becks and I got along well. Dr. Fleming liked me and supported me enthusiastically, and so I joined the faculty actually right after graduating and passing the boards in September of 1954. Of course, Dr. Fleming was a periodontist and a clinician, but he was interested in research and realized that research was going to give us the answers for the future for better patient care, standards of care, and so forth. And so he, from the first time I met him, was friendly with me, encouraged me to go on, and was instrumental in actually getting my faculty position, because at that time there was very little research going on in the School of Dentistry, and this was his way of recruiting new members who would contribute to that part of dentistry that was missing at the University of California in San Francisco School of Dentistry. There was no chancellor on the campus, so the schools were run by the 4 deans. And in the School of Dentistry, it was Dean Fleming. He had an administrative assistant who handled the budget, who handled all the important appointments and so forth. So it was a very small type of operation. And Dr. Fleming had a lot of insight into what was going on in dentistry, the future image of what the possibilities were. And so he encouraged me. He was friendly. He was kind. Whatever time I needed to chat with him, he was available. So he was always a supporter. And then when I came on the faculty, then also, he was the one who supplied me with space and funds to continue my work, which is both clinical and laboratory. Dr. Fleming was he was a very knowledgeable, kind person with communication skills, and on the other hand, even though he was a people's person type, he had rigid standards, and if someone didn't meet those, they would hear about it. So while he was strict in a certain way, he was very, very kind. He was beloved by students, staff, faculty, alumni, and actually it was no surprise that when then the first chancellor, Saunders, stepped down, that he would be, if it was an in-house type of appointment, that he would be the one. And he did a marvelous job, as far as I know, as a young faculty member and watching what was going on campus. He did a very, very good job of organizing, managing, directing, and keeping everything going here. He would, if you had a problem, he would listen to it. He would give you very, very sage advice. If there were things he had to say that maybe were somewhat negative but would help you in your career, he would say that too. So he was kind in both ways, but very, very straightforward. And I just thought the world of him. And of course, on top of that, while I supported him strongly, he really supported me as a young faculty member and making this a satisfying career for me.